Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy George Michael Perez, aka GMike, and y'all already know what it is, baby. Back with another episode of the G Perspective. Before we get into it, follow me on my socials at George Mike Perez, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at GMike Media _. The audio version of the podcast is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, and now streaming on the VarsitySportsNetwork.org. We got an exciting episode for you guys this week. I'm bringing on two old guests, Nicholas Wilkins and Dicky to go and talk about some exciting topics with breaking news that Odell Beckham has now signed with the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year deal, $15 million contract. And we jump into the UFC 287 results of this past Saturday night's fights. And then the play-in NBA tournament will start on Tuesday, and playoffs first rounds will start next weekend. Very exciting episode. A lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave some comments for your boy. But let's get it. My boys Nick and Dicky, what's good with y'all?
What's up, my boy? What's good with y'all, man? Glad to see y'all boys again.
Yes, sir. What's up with it?
Yeah, man. You know how it is. Working hard each and every day. I know you guys are doing the same thing. Get your money up. Get your brand up. That's what we need to be doing out here. Repping the Detroit Pistons jersey because he's trash. But he got
whoa. That's calm
exactly.
down. You
but he got it. He got it off an NBA game, though. He got it off an
That's
NBA
a fact.
game. Who
Right
was it?
Hayes
Who was it
back.
that gave you the jersey?
Shout out to Killian Hayes, man. Gave me the sweaty jersey off his back. Took it off. Gave it right to me. You feel me?
At least you washed it. At least you washed it.
No, I didn't wash it. So listen, I'm saying that's why I got it over the sweater. I'm gonna wash this sweater.
No
after
skin
I'm
to
done.
skin
But the
contact.
the jersey, I'm putting it in a frame, man. But I'm just wearing it just because I had to rep one time for the one time.
Did he sign it?
Nah, he didn't sign it. He did sign my other jersey, though. Well, you can't really see because my background's blurred. But he signed my other Detroit Pistons jersey. He signed it. I got a couple people saying James Wiseman signed it too. Trash ass nigga, but you know.
Hold on.
Cool.
You've been talking all that garbage about Wiseman being on the Pistons. You're like, hey, can you sign this?
I mean, shit. Hey, nigga, he's right there. Fuck this big ass nigga in my face. You know what I'm saying? I said, hey, can you sign this, please? Please, sir. I'm just a peasant. Please sign my
Just peasant, bro. You was
Yo, hold on. Hold on.
Before
Before we get into everything else, man, you don't think that Wiseman's gonna be good for you guys, like in the future?
I mean, okay.
Nick,
if I'm
Nick,
gonna,
my bad. Nick, you could chime in too because I know that you're a team.
Got you. I think James Wiseman is good. Now, I don't think he necessarily started in the right position because I am not going to lie. I thought he was going to flourish in Golden State because all you needed him to do was do exactly what JaVale McGee did and Zaza Pachulia and Andrew Bogut. And I felt like coming out of college, James Wiseman was on the level of those type of players. Obviously, for whatever reason, it never materialized. He got hurt and stuff. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe he lost his confidence a little bit or something like that. Maybe he could get it back, but I just don't see it. And especially for us, if I'm be honest with you, I don't think the Pistons are in a position where we can just have niggas on the team trying to figure shit out. Like, nigga, we got to start getting the fuck going. Like, and so we can be relevant in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? We're not a fucking, project shop to put Wiseman back together. No disrespect to him, feel me? But I don't think so, in my honest. I like when Detroit, finally gets back to what I don't think James Wiseman is going to be a part of it, in my opinion.
That's interesting because I feel the complete opposite, dude. I feel like Wiseman, he wasn't utilized the way that he was supposed to be in Golden State because you got Steph Curry out there handling the ball like 80% of the time. Clay coming back of injury, so he's trying to get back in rhythm. Draymond Green out there, he's the forefront of that defense. He's the anchor, so it's not like James Wiseman's going to be that guy. So I feel like when they drafted him, it was great on paper. Like you said, like grab rebounds, be a defensive stopper, set
Exactly.
picks
Yep.
and rolls, trying to get 10 points a
Yep.
game, but throwing little alley oops to him
If
here and
that.
there, etc. But the way that they were using him wasn't the way that he was supposed to be used. So like when they traded
I
him
think so.
to the Pistons, I'm like, you know, they're a young upcoming team. If they like stay together, Ivy, Cade, Killian Hayes, and I was talking about Sadiq Bey before he got traded. But if Sadiq Bey would have stayed there, he would have been like a good mentor for him. But I think down the road, Wiseman's gonna be actually good for you guys. But obviously, we gotta wait and see.
I mean, listen, fingers crossed. And I just want to say right before Nick goes, I agree with you about the Golden State thing. If you really think about it, I mean, who's like their best person in that role is Kevon Looney. But maybe James Wiseman probably didn't want to play like Kevon Looney because, like you said, you're really just setting screens. You're dumping the ball off to him. You might get a nice little alley oop. Whereas James Wiseman is more of a back to the basket player. Dump it to him in the low post. Maybe he can do some work and stuff like that. But Golden State didn't need that. So hopefully, maybe you're right. And then God's willing, if we get Victor, maybe Victor might not want to play center, and James Wiseman can actually be our center, and he can be, and Wembanyama can be more of like a, AD type, play the four, very athletic, super long, and stuff like that. So maybe you could work out, hopefully.
But I mean, that's less minutes for Duran though, too. If we give Wiseman all these minutes, that was the thing I didn't really like is like you go out and get a player like Duran, and then you get rid of Sadiq Bey. And it's like Sadiq's our bucket. Duran's a great defensive dude. Grab the rebound, slam it home, bring that aggression.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And now you're just taking minutes away from him with Wiseman. That was the only issue I had with it, other than seeing Sadiq go, because that one hurt. I really like Sadiq Bey.
I love
Sadiq Bey. When I saw him go, I was like, damn, you guys are losing like your best defensive fucking player.
That one hurt. That one hurt. That's my biggest issue with it. But I completely agree that Warriors weren't really using him right, but they don't really need him to do that. They needed him to grab a board and kick it back out. Clay's there, Steph's there. They're just better shooters. If Wiseman got a dunk, take it. But Wiseman want to do stuff with the ball, and he's going to have more of an opportunity to do that in Detroit.
And I get it why he wants to do more with the ball. He was second pick in the NBA draft. Like, he was a monster in college. Like, I get why he wants to be the guy with the ball. So when Golden State drafted him, I was like, okay, like I said, like, it's good for rebounds, picks, and all this. But he's not going to be the player that he wants to be. So he's got to get up out of there. And then they ended up trading.
Yeah, but listen, bro, we all have been watching sports for years. A lot of times it's not necessarily about a player's ability. It's a system that they go to.
Facts.
For example,
that again.
Would Lamar Jackson
for the people in the back.
Would Lamar Jackson be as successful with any other team besides the Baltimore Ravens who catered their offense to him? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, you never know.
Well, great, bro. Honestly, my favorite time of year is this year. We got MLB back in the mix. We were talking about a little about MLB before we got on the recording. We started watching a little more. Football, the off season is always up and going. NBA is about to go into the playoffs. NHL is about to go into the playoffs. UFC is at the top of its heights right now. It's great time of year, baby.
Love that.
And the breaking news that came out yesterday from the Baltimore Ravens organization is that Odell Beckham, All-Pro Super Bowl champion, is going to sign with them for a year and $15 million. Sheesh.
That bag.
That
bag. He got that bag.
He got that bag. Money. Well, I want to hear your initial reactions to that signing and how it would help the Baltimore Ravens down the line. Nick, I'm going to go with you first, buddy.
I think it was a good move for the Ravens, but I don't think they're done yet, especially if they want to keep Lamar. They still got to draft a wide receiver, and it's loaded in this draft class. Whoever's left by that 22nd pick, I mean, you got Addison out of USC, you got Smith, Najiba. You can't, like, these guys will snap like their first year. We've seen so many rookie wide receivers just come in and take off. I mean, Garrett Wilson took off with Zach Wilson as his quarterback. So these new dudes are different. Josh Downs, UNC. There's a bunch of guys in this draft that they should draft, and it's not a knock on OBJ. He's OBJ, but to pair him up look at that wide receiver class they would have. OBJ plus a rookie, and then Andrews, and then hopefully for the Ravens, they want Lamar Jackson back. They want him back as the QB. Obviously, there's contract stuff, everything's still in the air. But that would be his best wide receiver core he's ever had.
Yeah.
Insert any rookie. Any rookie.
Yeah. No, for sure. 100%.
That's how I feel.
Dicky, how you feeling over there?
I'm going to take a different approach than Nick. So when I initially heard it, I was like, okay, well, what I first thought was, then that means that the Ravens offered him the most money, in my opinion, because OBJ coming off the 2 ACLs on the same knee, I didn't think he was going to get the type of money that he was looking for, which is why I think he got the 1 year, 15 mil. If I was OBJ, I'd have tried my heart. I'd have tried to go to the Chiefs. You feel me? Like, why not go to the Chiefs? I felt like it could have helped him resurrect his career, and he could went on and, and did just like how Juju did. But anyways, besides the point, when I first heard it, I was like, well, who's his quarterback going to be? Because that's the ultimate question.
Exactly.
And I kind of agree with the Nick when you're talking about this wide receiver class coming out of college being dynamic, but we just spoke about it, bro. What about the system? Let's be honest. Baltimore's wide receivers have been at the bottom since Lamar Jackson, insert Lamar Jackson, and it's just because of the style of offense that they play. Now, I do agree with you. This would be the best wide receiver class that essentially he would have had in any of those times. Mark Andrews is a stud, in my opinion. He's a top 3 tight end. It's only 2, maybe Kittle and Kelsey. You could probably argue that's better than him. Andrews is great, but what are they going to do with that Baltimore system? Because now, if I'm not mistaken, they fired Greg Roman. He's not there anymore. He's not their OC. So are there going to be more pass heavy, or are they still going to continue to run a lot? Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, that is a part of Lamar Jackson's game, is his running ability. If you take away his legs, I think you take away 50% of his game. Now, maybe he wants to transition into something a little bit more, maybe a 75-20 type of thing. But again, how is that going to affect Baltimore's offense? So I think it's a good move, for OBJ, for the Ravens and stuff like that. But I'm just, who's going to be their quarterback? Because, and then I'm not going to lie, it kind of made me think, like, did he have a talk with Lamar Jackson? Because if OBJ signed there and Lamar Jackson isn't there, then all he did essentially was kind of just get a bag for a year.
Well, they partied in Miami.
Yeah,
and
they spoke before.
They were talking.
There's talks that they were talking before. Yeah.
And if they're speaking, that just gives me more confidence that Baltimore is confident that they're bringing back Lamar Jackson. And that's why I said that. And kind of going off what you said on the wide receivers putting up poor numbers, it's because, but you did talk up Andrews, and I feel like that's because Lamar has had such a trust in Andrews to actually catch the ball that he hasn't had this trust with his other wide receivers in the core over the past few years. That's why he's staring down Andrews almost a lot of the time, because he wants to give him the ball if he's not breaking out, because he feels like he's the only guy he can trust to secure the ball. I mean, you had Marquise Brown in his last year with the Ravens. He was dropping deep balls that were on the money. And I was watching the Lions game, and he dropped 3 just in that game that could have been touchdowns. 3 just in that one game. So I don't know. I feel like it's been more of a trust thing with his wide receivers. He doesn't trust that they can get it done. Nothing against Rashad Bateman, though, because I think he's great. It's just the trouble about him staying healthy. Because Bateman, he a baller.
Yeah,
Bateman is a baller.
Fact. And he's fast as shit.
Yeah, he's fast.
You can get off the line quick. Lamar did. I could see them building trust, but they could, like, one was injured when one was injured or the other one was injured. It was just
that chemistry's not there yet. It's not there yet.
But it could be if he can stay healthy too. Rashad can stay healthy, and then they get a rookie. Then that's their 3 wide receivers. Tough if they get Lamar back. I'm just saying that'd be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, there'd be a good Madden team. So you know,
nothing else.
Still ducking me on that, but it's all good.
You ducking smoke, Dicky?
We gotta set up a little Madden tourney at my crib.
That's a fact. I'm down.
We'll play it. We'll put like $20 down or whatever.
I'm with all of that, bro.
With that.
Yeah.
Recording.
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We make great
Record
content
that.
on this shit. Hell yeah.
Record
Hell yeah.
that. Slap G Money on there.
G Money and Mike. GMike Media, baby. Bah!
That's what I'm saying. Slap
Listen,
that. This is the G
that-
perspective. I'm about to whoop all y'all in Madden.
Well, I'll be honest and say that Dicky beat me last time that he was here, so I gotta get that revenge game.
No smoke.
That's a fact.
Oh, he's still ducking smoke. He's like, nah, I can't make it, dude. Nah, I'm busy.
You want to stay
Nah,
undefeated.
That's a fact. Shit.
Look,
Yeah.
but for the Ravens, it's a great move. One, you're putting that wide receiver on that core that you needed for a very long time, and that Lamar has been asking, and the fan base has been asking, and actually, the whole NFL fan base has been asking for you guys to bring in a receiver to help Lamar Jackson. So it's going to be good for them on that part. But I'm going to stick with the Odell Beckham side of it. I think that Odell is injury prone right now, and it sucks to say because he's one of my favorite wide receivers ever since he came into the game. Even though he played for the Giants, fuck the Giants. But when he made that terrific catch that I saw live, I was like, dude, this guy.
Oh, you went to that Cowboys game?
No, I mean live.
Gotcha.
I was like, I was watching the game.
You felt like you were there when you were watching that on the
bro,
TV.
no lie.
You felt like you were in that stadium.
Bro,
I felt like you was in that stadium. I was like, gosh, stop.
Damn.
I called up my boys and I'm like, yo, there's gonna be a sick ass clip on ESPN today and Twitter, bro. Yo, watch. Yo, crazy.
My boy who's a Giants fan, I was literally recording his warm-up that game because they were showing the warm-up before the game. He doing crazy one-handed grabs, just like warming up. And I sent it to him. I'm like, yo, this dude's a baller for real. And then he did that. And I'm like, yeah, he built different.
Crazy. Yeah. So ever since then, I've always thought of him like one of my favorite receivers in the league. And even when I would do like franchise Madden, I'll try to trade for him and shit. But that's neither there or here. What I do think that he's injury prone, but I think like how you were saying before, him going to the Kansas City Chiefs to resurrect his career, I think he's gonna do that with the Baltimore Ravens. He's fast as hell. He's crisp at route running. His hands are incredible. This guy doesn't drop a pass. If Lamar Jackson gets a wide receiver like that he can trust in, like Nick was saying, how he has his trust in Andrews in that. He got Odell number one. I think Odell will step up and be another all-pro wide receiver again. It'll be great for his career. His numbers will go up tremendously after the last 3 years of him being injured on and off the field. It's going to be crazy for his career. I think it's going to be very good for his career. Obviously, I'm talking about if Lamar stays. If Lamar doesn't stay, it's a whole completely different situation. That's a whole completely different conversation that we're going to be having. But if Odell is healthy and Lamar is healthy and Lamar can get him the ball, I see Odell getting 10 targets a game and catching at least 8 of them a game with maybe a touchdown or 2 a game or 100 and something plus yards a game. Because, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, that connection that they can make, that chemistry that they can have on the field. I think it's going to help Odell's career tremendously.
So I have a question. I know this question wasn't in the rundown, so I want to pose it to both of you guys. If the Ravens and Lamar can't come to something, so then what do you do as the Ravens? Would you draft a quarterback? Do you stick with Huntley, or do you go after maybe you trade? Would you want Aaron Rodgers? Like, what do you do if you're Baltimore?
What they should do is hit up my Detroit Lions and try to get Jared Goff in a first-round pick, and then give us Lamar Jackson. That's what I think they should do.
Okay, going off of
Jared
what
Goff,
you just said right now. Going off of what you just said right now, Baltimore cannot do that because their whole offense is run through Lamar Jackson style of quarterback. So if they get a quarterback, it's got to be Tyler Huntley. It's got to be CJ Stroud. It got to be Richardson out of Florida. It's got to be someone like that, unless they change up their whole offensive playbook, and they can because they have a new OC.
I haven't heard this, and I don't think San Francisco would do it. But would you go after Brock Purdy if you're Baltimore? Make him your franchise quarterback, or do you need to see more?
If you're asking me personally, bro, if I'm the GM of the Baltimore Ravens, I'm doing whatever I can to keep Lamar Jackson, bro. No matter
I agree.
what, no matter
I
what it
agree.
is. Like I think they should have paid him already.
Yeah.
I've,
They
I've,
should have been paid him so they
yeah,
didn't have to go through this. If they paid him before the Watson deal,
Yeah, pay him
yeah.
after
No, no, no,
his
no.
MVP
That's
season.
yeah, for sure. If they would have paid him before Watson deal, they both would have been in the winning on that one. But we're
Yeah.
talking after the fact, and I still think they should pay him. I see why they don't. They don't want to start up this whole thing of okay, quarterbacks are going to get
the owner
guaranteed
thing. Yeah.
money of a 200 million plus now. Like, and then teams around the NFL, they probably got together behind the scenes and they're like,
Oh,
yo, this guy's
100%.
this
Come
guy's gonna
on.
test the free agent market. Like, yo, you guys need to
100%.
say no to him because if not, we're gonna be fucked. And that's exactly what happened. Once he went to go test free agency, when they put the exclusive tag, they're like, every other NFL team was like, no, we're good, we're out,
No, we're good.
out,
We're
out.
okay.
Like, yeah,
Yep.
but that was all collusion right there.
Which is
Oh,
all crazy.
100%. It had to be. Y'all telling me you don't want Lamar Jackson an MVP? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. And I mean, I do want to say though, to the Baltimore Ravens credit, obviously we have to play devil's advocate here when we talk about stuff. If Lamar said that they offered him 3 years, $133 million. Now, I don't know if that was fully guaranteed or what the thing was, but I mean, if I was advising Lamar Jackson, I probably would have, taken that. I understand it's not what you wanted, but you could have gone back to the the offer table like in 3 years. You'd only be 29. And we see Russell Wilson just got another contract at what, 34, something like that. So I think, Lamar Jackson could have been good, would have been good with that. But again, I don't know what the guarantee money was, what the signing bonus and all that stuff. I can't count somebody's pockets. But if I was advising him, I'd have definitely told him to consider that because I think, that would have been a good deal and would allow the Ravens to have flexibility in their cap and stuff like that. You feel me? But I don't know.
I see exactly what you're saying, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have an agent. It's just him. And I feel like if he doesn't get what he wants, he takes it as disrespect. He's gonna take it personally because even though you really shouldn't take it personally because it's a business and it's just how it's run, but it is personal because it's his work ethic and everything he's worked for, everything he's done for this organization. And he just wants the compensation he feels like he already deserves. And so every other offer they put on the table that's not what he wants, he's going to take it as disrespect.
I mean, that is a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, my bad to cut you off. From the beginning of this whole scandal that was going down, I've always said I think Lamar needs an agent because it's like you're juggling working out, you're juggling reading the playbook, you're juggling new plays, trying to be the best quarterback you can be, get back to the MVP level, try to go to the playoffs, try to win more games than you have in the playoffs, try to get to the Super Bowl and actually win the Super Bowl. You're going through all these things that's going on in your mind. And then on top of that, you're telling me that you got to go to the managers and talk about deals and extensions and contracts and this and that. It's like, that's too much on your plate, my boy. Like,
and owners don't like that.
Have some
owners
don't like that. Of course, bro. Of course not. Like, they want to be talking to someone that knows what the hell they're talking about. And I'm not saying that Lamar doesn't know what he's talking about, but some of these people go to school to be a sports agent. like, dude, I'm pretty sure there's shit that you just don't learn off of YouTube University.
Listen, 1,000%, and I can't agree with you more, bro. And you have to think your agent can go back channel a lot of the things that you can't necessarily do as a player because your agent can go to the combine. Every fucking team is at the combine. That's how the Peyton Manning deal got done. It was at the combine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to they can go to the owners meeting that they just had down in fucking, what is it, Fort Lauderdale and shit like that, where the owners are fucking drinking, having a good time. The agents can go through that back channel. And my thing, I agree with you. You definitely want to have an agent. And I understand if Lamar, you don't want to pay an agent, whatever the thing is and stuff like that. I understand that. Then in that case, get your mom to get certified. You know what I'm saying? Or get your uncle, get somebody that you trust get certified by the NFLPA so that they can work back channel for you. Because like you said, bro, you're doing all this stuff. And because if Lamar doesn't have an agent, the only people that can talk to, the only person that can talk to other teams is Lamar. So, and you're not, are you calling around or you know what I'm saying? You don't know. So Yeah, bro. I say just get an agent just for peace of mind. You feel me? You can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah. Well, going on with this whole conversation, let me
Mhm.
bring up the question before we move on to the next one. Do you think that he will end up staying in Baltimore? I'm When I say end up staying in Baltimore is starting the season and finishing the season. This season. I'm not talking about next year or the years to come, whatever. This season coming up, do you think that he stays or he ends up going somewhere else?
I think he stays. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think he has a choice, because it's either he's gonna play underneath the tag, or he's gonna or he's gonna sit out. And I don't think he's gonna sit out, because if you sit out and you don't play that year, because technically he would have to sign the tenure, so that year doesn't count. So even if he sat out a year, came back to the Baltimore Ravens, it would still be under the exclusive franchise tag. So you lose everything. So I think he has no choice but to play, essentially, and I think he plays this year for the Ravens.
I agree. Plus, you don't want to pull a Le'Veon Bell. Understandable that they're two different positions, but he still ruined his career doing that.
Yeah.
I don't see Lamar going anywhere as of right now. I completely agree with Dicky. I think he's staying. He's partying with OBJ in Miami right now. He'll be all right. He'll be there.
Yeah, I see Lamar staying, and because one, he's a Florida boy, and we don't go with that weak stuff of, oh, you know what, I'm gonna quit on my guys and this and that. No, 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 no. We there, we warriors, and we gonna step up to the forefront and be the first one with the sword in our hands and be like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he's gonna
Let's
be
get
that
it.
dude,
Let's go.
100%, 100%. He's gonna be like that. It's just I get why he's disrespected on why they don't want to pay him, but then again, I do understand on why they don't want to pay him. It's like I'm on the
Yeah.
fence about it. Before I was like all in Lamar Jackson, like, yeah, pay this man, pay this man, pay this man. But now, like, after a while, it's just like, dude, like, I get it. You want all the money that you can grab, but dude, at the end of the day, you got to realize that you're given this opportunity to get this money for your family, your friends, the people around you. You could secure a bag for them in the future. Yes, it's not the bag that you want, but it's a bag that is better than most people have in their fucking lives. And that's what you got to think about at the end of the day, man. Like, I get it. You want to get paid, but still, man, come to, I don't know. I don't know. Come to an agreement, bro. Like, it's tough. It's tough, man.
It is tough, but you gotta look at that Deshaun Watson deal like an anomaly, like it is. It wasn't that should not have happened. It
No, because the Browns are fucking idiots.
Yeah, no. They completely messed up the league in terms of that. Like,
yeah.
Completely. And now Lamar's looking at it like, well, hey, I played last year. Where's my money? I got an MVP. Deshaun ain't no MVP. Yeah. Deshaun didn't win an MVP. Not taking anything away from Deshaun, because great player, aside from everything else. But Lamar's just got to look at that contract like an anomaly, which it is, and go for the bag that he can get. Stay in Baltimore where the fans love him.
I think it's an anomaly until we have to see, because remember, next up is Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts. So,
Jalen Hurts is right now. I think that they're working on his right now.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that Baltimore would be smart, because that's what I'm saying. Let's be honest. I was about to say San Diego, excuse me. Los Angeles, the Chargers, they could, they could send the market up even higher. And then the Bengals, I don't know, because their owner has always been cheap, forever. We understand that he's super cheap. But come on, Joe Burrow, like, I'm just saying, I mean,
can't mess that up.
I think the Baltimore Ravens need to take care of this first, because if they get paid also, it's just going to make it even harder, because now Lamar's going to have something to say. Even fucking Herbert, and even if you say Deshaun is anomaly, okay, what about Herbert? What about Burrow? Look at Jalen Hurts. Like, I'm saying? I just, listen, Baltimore, they should just pay him after his MVP season. They could have avoided all of this.
Yeah.
They messed up.
Jacksonville, pay Trevor Lawrence after this year. Just give him whatever after this year, so we don't have no type of smoke. You feel me? Pay him after this year. We could do the Kansas City Chiefs deal, 10 years, $500,000, break it up, nice. Whatever you have to do. Okay, I do not want no issues in Duval. You feel me? Just pay Trevor Lawrence after this year. Keep it simple.
You heard it here, folks, Jacksonville fans. Pay the man. Pay the man.
Pay that man, bro.
Pay Sunshine.
Pay that. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh, man.
Pay
So
that,
this past Saturday, bro, UFC 287 passed by, and we were together watching the fights. You know, it was incredible. It was dope fight night.
That's a fact.
Izzy
Money
Adesanya
came 3 hours late.
I was working.
I'm just playing.
Adesanya beats Pereira for the first time, but the second fight that they have gotten to reclaim the belt in UFC 287. Man, what a crazy fight! Bro, when we first started watching the fight, I was like, "Yo, man, Izzy doesn't look like so as locked in as Pereira does." But just to get your initial thoughts on it, Dicky, I'm gonna start with you first. How did you see the fight going when we first started watching it, and then obviously after it finished, your reactions to it?
Well, just for a little perspective, I was about 5 or 6 Henny hustles in. I was drinking.
Hustles.
Yeah,
well,
I was
what does
drinking.
a Henny hustle consist of?
I don't know. Whatever.
You don't know what it consists of.
I don't know. I think it's like, there's Hennessy in there. I think it was like strawberry lemonade and Hennessy, something like that.
What
but
the
anyways,
fuck? Strawberry lemonade.
They was delicious, and I was knocking them shits back. But anyways, like you said,
like
I
water.
Watched the fight.
Like water.
I watched the fight, and I love the UFC. I love Israel Adesanya. And again, in the first round, like you said, it looked very like neutral, but Pereira, he was standing in front of Izzy, like he didn't look scared, he didn't look anything, and Izzy, he had Izzy on the back of his heels a little bit. So I was like, oof, this is gonna be very interesting. I don't think it's gonna be just like the last fight. Like clearly, Perez, he's gotten better. And then in that second round, man, Izzy, it looked like he baited him. You know what I'm saying? Because he had him up against Pereira had Izzy up against the cage. And, Izzy's trying to cover up and look like, when you're throwing punches, you're open. That's a, you leave yourself open to get hit. And Izzy caught him, boom, and then dropped him with the temple punch. And, the rest is history. But, shots out.
And then the hammer. The hammer.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good fight. I do think they're going to fight again, but it was definitely a good fight. The whole place erupted when that happened. Like the whole place lit up.
Yeah. Nick, what are your initial reactions?
Izzy definitely baited him. He's like, I can't take it. Just slept him right over with the right. It hit him again with the left. He stumbled back. He was like, I got him now. Boom, right to the temple. He went down. Sleep. Yeah. Izzy was nice with it, man. You could tell he wanted that. He did all this petty stuff, the bow and arrow.
Yeah, the bow and arrow, the tira flecha shit. Yeah.
Oh, man. He fell in front of his kid and just dropped because the kid did that, I guess, to Izzy before.
In like 2009 or some shit like that.
He kept the receipts. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's a kid.
Yeah.
That's a different level of petty, bro. That's petty with all capital letters.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. When they both came out, I was like, okay. Well, first, because Izzy came out first, if I'm not mistaken. When Izzy came out, I'm like, okay, he's locked in. This guy is locked in. He wants his win bad. Pereira came out. He looked like he was locked in, and then he did that bow and arrow shit. I was like, that's kind of petty, but whatever. You want to do a little taunting, that's on you, boy. But you better come back with the smoke. They got in that first round. They're both filling each other out. You know how it is in the UFC. The first round, they fill each other out. But then when the second round started, I'm like watching it, and I'm like, dude, like Izzy looks like he's like just waiting for it, like waiting for his moment. Like he's not trying to like be too aggressive right now. He's being super strategic with it. Then when he backed up against the fence, I was like, okay, if Pereira like gets some shots here, he could fuck up Izzy bad.
Just like he did last fight.
Yeah, exactly. Just like he did last fight. So he was just waiting for it, and like y'all said, came in with the boom, boom. Boy dropped to the ground, came with the hammer, and that's it. That shit was over. That shit was crazy, man.
Knock it off.
Nah, but he was super locked in, man. He was focused. He really wanted that fight. Imagine the fourth time fighting. The fourth time fighting in their careers. Obviously, they only fought once in the UFC, but they fought twice before that. He beat you 3 times, and then this fourth time you come out, you better be fucking locked in. You better be locked in. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it was a great fight though.
He wasn't going to take a fourth
Izzy had that LeBron James Eastern Conference Finals 2012 in Boston Garden, Game 6. That's the look he had. Like
he
when
did.
I seen that locked in look, I said, "Oh, that's like when LeBron was hunched over and he was looking like, yeah. That's that look, man.
Facts.
That's
and then
look.
the fight before that, Jorge Masvidal, Miami native, where UFC
Miami legend.
287 was in Miami for the first time in 20 years, and Dana White saying it's gonna go back there, baby, because we on and popping. You know what I'm saying?
You saw the money?
Yeah,
you saw the money. You saw the money.
You saw the money that came through,
bro. You know what it is that they were charging average ticket sales $600. I was like, dude. Fuck
for the nosebleeds?
For the nosebleeds, it was like $600, bro. I was like, nah, man, fuck that. But yeah, Jorge Masvidal lost to Gilbert Burns, and he retired right after. Jorge has 50-something plus fights in under his belt in the UFC. He's above 500 record, so I think he's gonna go down as a Hall of Famer. Dicky, what do you think? You think he goes down a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I think Jorge Masvidal, definitely. Listen, Miami legend, you know, all the way from his days back when he was fighting in Kimbo Slice's little thing back then. So yeah, Jorge Masvidal, I think he's like 35-16 or something like that. So yeah, well over 500. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. Has the BMF title, you know, essentially, you know, beat Nate Diaz, you know, I guess, you know, on the technicality.
The bad motherfucker.
Exactly. Has the BMF title. Has arguably one of the greatest knockouts ever with the Ben Askren, one of the fastest and one of the best knockouts of all time over Ben Askren. So he has that, like you said, over 50 professional fights, bro. He's really just a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And took the Usman fight on 6 days' notice. Who the fuck else would do that against a monster, against Usman?
Against a champion. Champion.
Exactly. And still, you know, held his own. He didn't win, but, you know, of course, listen, you can't, you never want a belt, but you can't discredit his heart, man. He was always in it, always wanted to fight. I never seen him back down from nothing. And yeah, he'll get in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. Man.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think, buddy?
I mean, I agree. 35 wins and 52 matches. Everything Dicky said, I agree. He's a Hall of Fame for sure. Yep. Give it to him.
Yeah, facts. The one thing I will say about this last fight of him, man, that I did not like, and it's because like my Miami people will know this, the way that he was letting Burns just hit him. I get it. You're showing that he can't knock you out, that you're tough as hell, and this and that. But dude, last fight, you know, if you lose, you're gonna retire. You already said it, Babu. I need you to come out swinging. I don't give a fuck if you're hitting air. You need to come out swinging, bro. Yeah. And that's the one thing that I didn't like. But obviously, big time, George Masvidal fan, yeah, for sure. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. 50-something plus fights, like I said, it's crazy. Like, if you guys think about it, if you ever been in a fight before, I think 30 seconds in a fight is insane. So imagine 5 rounds of fucking fight.
That's a fact.
It's insane.
It's insane. He has over 50 professional fights. Like, so you gotta think, you gotta go through all of that.
Yeah. So he has like probably 100 fights on this, but
weight, tape, drug testing. Like, but listen, Jorge Masvidal, he's been in the fight game for a long time, and he doesn't even look it. Like, you know, he looks like he's like in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? Jorge Masvidal, bro.
But he's 38, but he doesn't even look 38. Honestly.
Yeah, facts. No, that's what I'm saying. He looks young. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like early 30s. So yeah, man. Jorge Masvidal, I fuck with him. He's definitely going to Hall of Fame.
One of the goats.
Now, George, I got a question for you. Since you said he was going into that fight and just kind of like letting him get in some tough shots, kind of not covering up and stuff, you think he went into this match thinking he was going to retire?
Yeah. I do. I do think that he was. Imagine you're in your hometown. Like I said, UFC hasn't been in Miami for 20-something years. You're in your hometown. You're one of the main events right before the title fight, and you've already mentioned the fact that I might retire if I lose this match. It's like, and then he was saying if I win, my career is gonna be resurrected. It's like, okay, if you actually felt like that, then that means that last round you would have gone out swing. He was letting him hit him. Like, you know, he was showing that I'm a tough dude. You can't knock me out, no matter who the hell it is. You hit me, it feels like a fucking a little pinch to the face, a little slap to the face. But If you have the mindset of like, okay, I could resurrect my career right there, then you're coming out swing. If you don't have that mindset, then you're just like, you know what? Like, this is my last match, whatever. I love it. I'm gonna go out like a champ in my city. It's all good. And he did because like no matter if he won or lost, everybody was cheering him on in that arena. Fact. If you would have heard it, so
that's a fact. Yep,
facts.
Yeah. But moving on, man, we got the NBA play-in tournament starting on Tuesday. Ooh. Let's get it. And then the first round of the playoffs is going to start out right after that. So I'm gonna name the first couple of games. We'll go each game. We'll do like quick little takes, so we won't take long on it. But I'm gonna just name the games that are happening. Miami Heat will host the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday. The Los Angeles Lakers will host the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday. The Chicago Bulls will host the Toronto Raptors on Wednesday, and the Oklahoma City Thunder will host the New Orleans Pelicans on Thursday as well. We'll go game by game. Miami versus Hawks. Nick, who you got?
Miami versus Hawks. I'm gonna go with your team, my boy. I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat. Bam's just got to step up on the O, and they'll be straight. Jimmy will get his buckets when they come because Jimmy is a bucket. Hopefully, they get more scoring from their boy Tyler Hero. And if he can show up like he did in the bubble, Miami could be a little scary going into other games. But yeah, I got Miami.
All right, for sure. Dicky?
Yep, same thing. I got Miami, and I think you guys beat the Hawks, and then, so meaning that you would play Boston. I know you and I had spoke, G-Money, about that matchup, and I really think, let's say you guys do beat the Hawks and you play Boston in the first round, that's going to be a tough series,
because that's going to be Eastern Conference Final Series in round 1. That's going to be
I know.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be crazy. But I think for that matchup, you guys' X factor, I told you in Buffalo Wild Wings, I think it's Tyler Hero, man. I think, again, I have Tyler Hero, he's won 6th man of the year. He's great, a three-point specialist guy, but I think he has to take that next step. Like, he has to take that next step and be one of those guys that can, because we know what Jimmy is going to bring us. Bam is Bam, but you need that other guy, to say, like, on some nights, maybe if Jimmy's struggling or Jimmy doesn't have it, because we know Jimmy is also a defensive guy. So if he's putting out that type of, exerting that type of energy on defense, his offense may struggle. So I need Tyler Hero to step up. And I think if he's you guys' X factor in a positive way, listen, the Heat can make a deep run. Listen, don't sleep on the Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? Do not sleep on the Miami Heat. Got one of the best coaches and one of the best organizations in the NBA. So, shouts out to Pat
and
Riley.
Udonis Haslem.
Yes, sir. Last year, you think that energy is going away? No, last year UD is there. You think hell no.
I need a UD jersey now.
Yeah, facts. Me too.
That boy's been there for my whole entire life.
Since you were born.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, every 2K I've had, that man's been on the Heat.
Oh, shit. That's funny, dog. That's funny. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Miami. You know me. I'm gonna go with Miami. I think our advantage is that we're at home. I think we're probably one of the best teams in the NBA when we come to playing at the crib. I don't really think any team can beat us out of the crib, but sometimes obviously we do lose. But I think that just having that advantage of being at home, especially against the Atlanta Hawks, I think we're gonna take that. And especially last year that we beat them, I think we're gonna take that 100%. We're gonna take that.
I say put Jimmy on Trey. Just shut that down. Maybe have to put Tyler Hero on DeJounte. You feel me? But let's be honest. I mean, Atlanta's firepower starts and ends with Trey Young. So if you can slow him down, if you can slow them down, and remember, this is just a 1-game thing. So it's not like you have the Hawks for a series. You just got this 1 game. You focus, slow Trey Young down, and you guys will be in the 7th spot. Easy, I think.
Yeah. Just like last year. Yeah. That's exactly what we did. We slowed Trey Young down in that first round, and they couldn't do crap. That's why they only won 1 game.
How it is.
And real quick, before we keep going, I just want to correct Dicky right quick. Jimmy Buckets does not struggle in the playoffs. Never.
No, he don't struggle.
Dicky looked up like, huh?
Yeah, no. He don't struggle in the playoffs, man. You know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know what I mean. All right, let's stick with the East. Let's stick with the East so we can run down through that. And but what you're saying about Boston and whatever, we'll talk about that more on another podcast. But Miami versus Boston, I think it will be a closer series than what people think. I think it will go to Game 7 again. But we'll move on to the next play-in game, which is the Chicago Bulls versus the Toronto Raptors. Nick, I'm going to start with you first. What you think?
It's going to be a tough one. I think it'll be close, but I got Chicago. I'm going to go with my boy DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. They can get their buckets. It's going to be hard to slow Siakam down because they don't really have too many defensive bigs. That'll be tough, but I think they have more offensive firepower. And in today's game, that's what it is. It's offensive firepower. And I think the Bulls will pull it out.
Okay. Mouse?
I'm going the opposite. I'm going Toronto. And I say that because Fred has been hooping this year. I think Fred VanVleet has, since Kawhi.
Scotty Barnes. He's been inconsistent, but he a baller.
Yeah, since Kawhi's left, like Fred, has morphed into that role, and Kyle Lowry left. Like Fred is now the leader of that team, and they kind of go as he goes. I know Pascal Siakam's the best player, but I think Fred is the leader. He essentially is the Kyle Lowry of the team. So I love the way he's hooping this year. His guys, they really ride for him. And like I said, Scotty Barnes, you got Pascal Siakam, you got Fred, who can hit perimeter shots and really run that offense. I think they just beat Chicago. And no disrespect to DeMar DeRozan and things like that, but I mean, the Bulls are beatable. Put it like that, and I think they're definitely beatable. I think they're beatable, and I think the Toronto beats them. Toronto pulls it out.
I think the Bulls are beatable for sure, but I got to go with the Bulls on this one just because I do agree that it's going to be offensive firepower because their team's not really defensive minded. Both those teams, I think the Bulls will just put it out because they have more chip on their shoulder than the Raptors do. Speaking internally to DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic. That trio right there is supposed to be a big-time trio. They should be a top 4 team in the East, but they're not. And I think that with it, yes, Lonzo is a big missing piece right there because when Lonzo was there, I think they were like 13-2 in the first like 15 games or some shit like that. But if the Bulls lose this game, I think that trio is going to get broken up. And I think the person that's going to be traded out will probably be Zach LaVine, 100%. If they win this game, they will go on to play. If we're all picking Miami to win against Atlanta Hawks, then they will go on to play Atlanta. And I think the Bulls can pull it off against Atlanta as well. And I think they will get into the playoffs and play Milwaukee the first round. That would be a step in the right direction with this trio. Try to get them on the right track. Try to get more pieces around them. Try to get some defensive-minded pieces around them. But I think they have more to lose in this game, and that's the reason why they win.
Well, if I'm going next, I pick Toronto, and then I think Toronto would also beat Atlanta to get the 8th seed. Yeah. But if Chicago wins, then I think Atlanta could beat Chicago.
Okay.
If I'm being honest,
Atlanta could. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think Atlanta could beat Chicago.
With Clint Capella.
Because I'm just saying, Vucevic, he don't got nothing for John Collins because he would he'd have to worry about Clint Capella. Like Clint Capella really would be a decoy in my opinion.
Yep.
And I think that would be a John Collins game. So
okay. Yep. Well, we'll jump to the West right now. We got the Los Angeles Lakers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dicky, I'm going to start off with you. And just breaking news, I don't know if you guys saw it, but just came in like 30 minutes ago. Rudy Gobert will be suspended for the game against the Los Angeles Lakers in the play-in tournament.
I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie. Somehow LeBron had to call that in, bro. Because how the fuck does Rudy? First off,
it's not the first time.
First off,
he did it to himself. He did it to himself. Don't put no LeBron conspiracy on this shit.
I don't understand. What the fuck did Kyle Anderson say to
Well, I saw the
James?
post today. I saw the post today.
There's no way that's what's there is no way that's what was said. There's no way that was what was said.
Wait, I didn't read anything. What happened?
What?
You go ahead, George.
This is what I read. This is what I read. I'm not saying I believe.
Because Woj said this is what was said. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, he said.
Go ahead, George. Go ahead.
He said, "Oh, he's like, hey man, can you go out there and block some shots?" And then Rudy was like, "Hey man, can you go out there and grab some rebounds?" And then Kyle Anderson was like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch."
For real?
That's what I read. That's what I read. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I read.
And then Rudy stepped up.
No. First of all, real quick, before we go into who you got in this game, let's dissect how that happened. They're having an argument. Yeah. Rudy gets offended. He gets offended. Rudy steps up like if he was gonna go and like grab him or talk to him, whatever. And then he threw a weak ass punch that you throw in your dreams. That those punches that you throw in your dreams that don't affect shit. You know what I'm talking about? Those weak punches that you feel weak as shit. He threw one of those, and then
he did though.
And then he backs up when Kyle Anderson comes at him. It's like, dude, you're 100% a bitch. 100%.
He got right up out of there, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. He's scared of
slow-mo? I just
you're 7 feet tall.
I just want
what are you doing?
I want this
I was
to
watching
be
the UFC. That's why he threw that.
Of just how terrible of an organization Minnesota is, bro. They gave up all those players, all those picks for Rudy Gobert, and he's not even there to help them get to where the fuck they want to get to, bro. That is crazy. I couldn't believe that.
Sickening.
Well,
sickening.
Back on track. First off, I hate the Los Angeles Lakers, so for me to say anything positive about it hurts my stomach, like upsets my stomach. But yeah, I have the Lakers in this. I mean, LeBron James is going to be LeBron, Anthony Davis, and I think, in my opinion, and I just thought about it when you just said it, though, right? If the Lakers were to lose, then they would have to what? They would have to play the winner of New Orleans, OKC. They could beat that team, and then they would play Denver in the first round. I think if I'm the Lakers, I'd much rather want to play Denver than I do Memphis, in my opinion. That's just me.
I get it, but it's just you're risking the chance of losing twice. You're risking that chance. You know what I'm saying? Because OKC and Pelicans, they're not bad teams.
No, they're not.
Remember, the Pelicans was top 3 almost before at the half mark of the season. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not bad teams. So, I don't know. You risk that chance. But I get what you're saying, to play Denver first round. Okay. Yeah. So, you rather the Lakers play Denver first round than Memphis?
If I was a Lakers fan. I mean, I hope they play Memphis and Memphis.
Yeah. I'm speaking as if you're a Lakers fan, for sure.
Okay, yes. I would much rather play Denver in the first round because, let's be honest, Denver's defense is nowhere compared to Memphis. Memphis has a defensive anchor in Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I don't think Memphis is going to have Steven Adams, which is a big loss for them. Steven Adams really also helps Jaren Jackson be more, because, Jaren doesn't have to worry about strictly the paint. Steven Adams can handle the paint and the rebound, and Jaren Jackson can really play defense and block shots. That's a big loss for them. But Memphis is still a good team. They're very good players. And who the fuck is gonna guard Ja? That's just number what. Who's gonna guard Ja?
Vanderbilt.
I don't see.
It probably would be Vanderbilt.
He can try.
But then Desmond Bane's probably good. Yeah, exactly. He could try.
Yeah, he can try.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's gonna stop him, but that's
facts.
Gonna cover him.
Okay, I got you.
That's the person that's gonna be lining up against him.
Yes, facts.
I would much rather play Denver just because, then it just becomes an offensive battle. It really becomes Joker versus AD, LeBron versus pretty much Murray and Michael Porter Jr. because since the trade deadline, the Lakers have played a lot better. I really do like their team and stuff like that. But now it's time to see, this is where the money is made. I know what AD can do in the playoffs if he's healthy and stuff. I know what LeBron can do. Is Austin Reeves going to continue to shoot like that? Is D'Lo? D'Lo has made the playoffs before and stuff like that. But this is ultra pressurized now because technically you're looking at D'Lo to be that third guy, you know, in LA, to bring the ball up, to kind of get LeBron off the ball, give him a break. D'Lo is very important to the Lakers for this, you know, this playoff run. Yeah. So is D'Lo going to step up? You know, we have to see, you know, Hachimura coming off the bench. They got Mo Bamba. If I'm not mistaken, is it true that they signed Tristan Thompson? I saw it yesterday, but I never confirmed.
Yeah. I think to fill a roster spot, though. I don't think he's going to be.
He's probably not going to play.
It's pretty much like when they signed JR in 2020, but they didn't win a ring. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he didn't touch the court.
Yeah, they just gave him.
He did. Hold on.
He did. But like,
he did in the final.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He was there.
You're right. Yeah,
that's what I got.
Right. That's like me as a water boy. What's out there?
Hey, listen, you was there.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
If I'm the Lakers, I'd much rather want to play Denver, but I do agree with you. You know, you don't want to risk losing twice, but I do think they beat Minnesota with no Rudy Gobert. Literally, listen, Anthony Davis should have a field day because Cat is not, you know, the defensive guy that Rudy Cat and AD might go at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Both Kentucky boys, like, I know they like to play each other, you know, they're pretty much the same player, you know, even though I think Anthony Davis is better, but, you know.
Yeah. Nick?
I agree. I agree. Lakers win this one, especially without Rudy Gobert. I mean, Anthony Edwards is going to have to, like, snap. To win that game. Like, snap to win that game. Oh, you saying you got Timberwolves without Rudy?
No. Hell no, I don't got Timberwolves. But I'm saying he will. He'll snap.
Yeah. Like, he going to have to, like, snap if they going to win.
No, he needs to drop 100 a game. So for them to win, he needs to drop 100.
Drop 45. Is he? They're going to have to score 100 points themselves.
Bro,
if they want to win that game. Lakers are just a better team. Yeah. I mean, especially if you take Rudy Gobert off the roster, it might open things up on the offensive end just because he's not clogging up the paint and can get there easier. But without Rudy on the defensive end, is gonna hurt Minnesota.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like Rudy not playing is gonna be better for the Timberwolves. Like, I don't know. I just feel like
on the offensive end. On the offensive end, 100%.
The aura around the court, the bench, the locker room is gonna be better without him there because he's not gonna be able to step into the building. I think he's gonna have to be at home. If I'm not mistaken, when you get suspended, I don't even think you could be there at the game.
Yeah, so, I don't think you can travel with the team because they're playing in LA.
They're playing in LA.
Yeah, that's another thing. Exactly. They're playing in LA too. That's advantage Lakers. I mean, let's be honest. In basketball, there are only a couple organizations that really have a home court advantage. I think of like Miami, Boston, LA. Like those are like the three places where if the Warriors, excuse me, and the Warriors, if the crowd, when the crowd gets into it, those teams, they feed off that energy. You feel me? They feed off that shit. So,
facts. I got the Lakers 100%. I think they're the way better team, especially after that trade. I think their team went from bottom 5 in the NBA to top 10. If we're just counting the second half of the season and on, with LeBron healthy on the court and playing. Obviously, he didn't play most of the second half of the season, but now he's back. He's ready to go. And Anthony Davis is healthy. Hopefully, he stays healthy. But yeah, I think I got the Lakers winning against the Timberwolves for sure. I was just thinking, like, I think it's better for the Timberwolves not to have Rudy there. I think it will be better for them in the overall outcome of how this game will go. Yes, he's a defensive monster and defensive anchor, but he's such a liability on offense that
such a liability.
That dude, it's hard for you to get some points if he's out there trying to set picks, but then he's running slow as hell to the basket, or he's out there trying to play the post, but the guy's so scared of people that he doesn't even play the post. He goes out to the mid range, and he can't even shoot the mid range.
He can't shoot mid range.
He's such a liability on offense, man.
And you know, a lot of it too, like, and I'm just saying, G Money, when you were just speaking about his abilities and stuff like that, if you really think about it, Steven Adams essentially is the same type of player, but Steven Adams has just a different mentality and actually can contribute to the game. He just sets hard screens, he gets rebounds, and he gets out the fucking way.
Gets out the way. You know, say that again.
Rudy just be clogging up the fucking lane, bro. Listen,
watch that French basketball shit.
Hey,
That's why Ant couldn't get nothing going in the beginning of the season.
Listen, hey, Rudy, watch some fucking Steven Adams highlights. That's what you should do, bro.
That's your homework, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you better hope that
get the fuck out the way.
Because you guys are gonna play fucking OKC or Pelicans next. You better fucking come back ready to play that next game. Because if not, boy, that trade was for no fucking reason.
The
Twin Towers
was for no reason.
Fuck out of
here.
If
they lose to the Lakers and then if they lose to the Lakers and then lose to the Pelicans or OKC, bro, that has to go down as arguably one of the worst trades ever, in my opinion.
For sure.
Up there.
It's up there.
So we all got the Lakers moving on in that one. So they'll move on to play the Memphis Grizzlies. But we'll save that for another podcast. Thunder versus Pelicans. They'll go on to play. The loser will go home. The winner go on to play the Wolves. Nick, who you got? Thunders or Pelicans?
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with the Pelicans just because BI been balling, and I would love to see this man win and go far in the playoffs, or at least get some shots up in the playoffs. You know, they probably won't go far, but I like the Pelicans team. CJ McCollum, baller. BI, like I said, has been balling, and I want to see this man be successful. I wish Zion would play.
Oh no! If Zion plays, they're winning.
It's over.
They're winning every game.
I think they.
I mean, playing. I'm talking about playing. Yeah.
I think,
but they could go. They could go far with Zion too on that roster. It's obviously a big question mark because he rarely plays, but yeah, I'll take the Pelicans over the Thunder because if you shut down Shea, it's gonna be hard for them to score the basketball.
Well, they ain't gonna shut down Shea, but I get what you're saying.
100%. They can try.
They can try. You better punch him. You better fucking punch him.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you want to
knock his ass
down,
out,
you gotta deck him across the face, I guess. But they're gonna their game plan should be to try to slow this man down.
Double team all day.
If they do, if they do, Thunder's not gonna shoot better than them. If they're trying to slow BI down, he's got CJ, and Shea's just like, all right.
No, and Marshall's coming up, and he's playing out of the lights out the second half of the season too. Hilbert Jones is actually another great role player for them. So I don't know, Dicky.
I'm going the opposite, man. I'm going with the OKC Thunder, and I hear you about Shea, but I think like Shea lives for this. Like I think this is when because obviously now this year, like people had we've seen Shea before. Okay, and could you imagine if the Clippers still had Shea? Oh my God, it would be fucking crazy. But we know SGA, but now casual fans are starting to see SGA, and I think he puts on the show. Like if you remember a few years ago when the Grizzlies beat the Warriors in the play-in, and that kind of put Memphis on the map. I think this is going to be kind of the same thing with SGA. I think he goes off in this game. I would not be surprised. A 35-point game, maybe a 40-piece chicken dinner. You feel me? I wouldn't be surprised at all. And they have
they weren't trying to slow him down at all.
Listen, they have a really complete team. I love.
They get that far.
Listen, I love Josh Giddey. I love Josh Giddey. They got 3 dudes named Williams. I don't know the fucking difference between them, but I know they fucking ball. You feel me?
I don't know the difference between.
I don't know the difference between these niggas, but they fucking hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Jalen been balling. If Jalen has a game.
And not only that, a lot of people thought, maybe the Thunder were trying to packet it or whatever. Listen, the Thunder have so much draft capital, and they still got Chet Holmgren in their back pocket. Holmgren hasn't even touched the floor. Now God's willing, hopefully he stays healthy. We know how big men and foot injuries are in the NBA. It's very sad. So I hope he can get it. But if he can come and give them anything, any addition, listen, OKC's future looks very bright. Superbly bright. But I think this is the SGA put on game, if I'm be honest with you. I think they'll beat the Pelicans or whatever, but then I think they would lose to the Timberwolves just because Shea will kind of, exhaust himself. I don't think he does back-to-back stellar games, but I think this game against the Pelicans, he goes off, and I think he puts the world on notice. Hey, we good at OKC. You feel me? We straight.
No, I agree with that last statement 100%. Shea's gonna go off, and their future for OKC is going to be bright for sure. But I think there's one game against the Pelicans. Nah, I think the Pelicans take it because they're inexperienced. One, they're inexperienced, and then two, that pressure's going to get to them. Playing at the Smoothie King Center or Smoothie King Arena, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, that pressure is going to get to them for sure. And then BI is going to come out there blazing. CJ McCollum's going to have a great game as well. And he's been in these situations before. He's been to a Western Conference Finals with the Trailblazers against the Warriors. If we remember right, that they're going to come out guns blazing. I don't think that they're going to go down to an OKC team. The game's going to be good. It's going to be close until maybe to like the last 4 minutes of the game where the Pelicans are just going to go off and that pressure is going to get to OKC. Like, I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be like a 10-point deficit at the end of the game. Throughout the whole game, it's going to be a good game. That pressure is just going to get to them at the end, and the Pelicans are going to overcome it and play the Wolves the next game.
Now, again, I just want to say, I'm just speaking, if Zion plays, all bets are off. Like,
if Zion plays, they're winning by 20. They're winning by 20. But I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah. So the winner of that game will go on to play the Wolves. It'll be a great series for sure. It's gonna be a great play-in tournament. Can't wait. Tuesday tip-off first game, Miami against the Hawks. You know what it is, baby. You know what it is, baby.
That's right. Dang. Hey, Pistons worst record in the NBA, so we have the best chance to get the number one pick.
It's Wemby time. It's Wemby time.
Yeah.
Trash.
Maybe.
Trash. All right, so let's go. Before we get out of here, let's go to the first rounds that are already set in play because we don't know the rest of the 1 or 2 seeds for each conference or who they're going to play yet. But we got the first rounds of the middle of the pack ready and set to go. So the Cleveland Cavaliers will play the New York Knicks. The Brooklyn Nets will play the Philadelphia 76ers. The Los Angeles Clippers will play the Phoenix Suns. And the Sacramento Kings, first time in playoffs for 20 damn years, will play the Golden State champion Warriors, reigning champion Warriors. We're going to start off with the East. Cleveland Cavaliers versus New York Knicks. Who wins this round and moves on to play in the next round? Dicky?
I just want to say I think this is going to be the best first round series besides Boston-Miami, because that's what I think is going to happen. But this is going to be a great series, man. I'm telling you, Cleveland and New York. Like, listen, Julius Randle versus Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I got Cleveland in this one in a tough 7-game, hard-fought series. I think, look, at the end of the day, you need that guy. And yes, Julius Randle is that guy in New York. Well, technically it would be Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. But, who are you going to put the ball in their hands? And they're going to do work. And I've seen Donovan Mitchell have 50-point playoff games. Donovan Mitchell been winning playoff games since he stepped into the league, because people forget that Jazz team beat Russell Westbrook's OKC team with Paul George, and Russell Westbrook had won the MVP. First year, he averaged a triple-double. So Donovan Mitchell is not scared, and he did that as a rookie. So imagine now he has a good team around him with Garland, with Mobley, Jared Allen anchoring that defense, and then you got Karis LeVert coming off the bench. I think that's going to be their X factor, in my opinion, is Karis LeVert and what he does with the second unit, because I don't think the Knicks have anybody in their second unit that can match anything that Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert is a really good player, so he just needs to be solid. And I think hard-fought series, 7 games, Cleveland takes it in Game 7.
Okay. Nicholas? I like everything what Dicky said, except I don't think it'll go to 7. I think it'll go 6 games. Cleveland wins, and I like your X factor. LeVert is slept on for absolutely no reason at all. Cleveland is tough. Donovan Mitchell has never missed the playoffs in his entire career.
For real?
And
never.
He hasn't. And this is the best team he has been on, and it's not close. It's not close. It's not close.
Especially defensively. Well, actually, you got Rudy Gobert. So,
no, you were right.
But I think they're number 1 in the NBA in defense. They've been like,
yeah.
Well, because they got twin towers down there.
Yeah, facts.
Jared Allen and Mobley, can get buckets practically.
Those are the real twin towers, motherfucker.
Yeah. They tried. Minnesota tried. They failed, but they tried. And Cleveland did it cheaper.
Yeah. True.
100% cheaper, bro. Straight draft picks. Straight draft picks.
Well, Barrett was a trade, yeah, but it wasn't no 4 first-round picks. I could tell you that.
That's a fact. Yeah.
they traded their whole entire future for Rudy, man.
Trash.
For what?
Goddamn trash.
What? I know.
Should have traded for me. I would have played for $1 a game.
No hate, but I know Mitchell saw that trade and laughed.
That's a fact.
And
100%. 100%. For sure. Why you think he wanted to get up out of there too? He's like, nah, y'all dumb. Y'all dumb. Y'all show me y'all dumb.
Though. He respectful though. I love it.
Always.
I love it. Yeah. Donovan, I was sick to my stomach when the Pistons drafted Luke Kennard over Mitchell still to this day. But I got Donovan. I know. I'm sorry, Dicky.
We could have gotten Donovan too. But we got fucking Tyler Hero.
Like 13. How? He wasn't expected to go like top 5.
Could have had fucking Donovan Mitchell. God damn it.
That made no sense to me, bro. I was at the 12th pick, and I'm like, oh, let's go. Donovan Mitchell's still on the board. There's no way we don't take him. We take the second best white guy on Duke, bro. Not even the best white guy. We took the second best white guy. Yeah, that made me sick. I got
funny as
hell.
That was funny.
Yeah. I got Cleveland in 6 too, man, and I think both of you just hit it right on the head. There's not really more to say on that, but what I will say is that Donovan Mitchell has that revenge in his mind. He's already spoken it, and you see it when he plays against the Knicks. The team that was supposed to trade for him, the team that he wanted to go and play for, but they didn't trade for him because they went to go grab Jalen Brunson, which was a good pickup.
Yeah, facts.
Pickup, don't take that away, but he's not Donovan Mitchell.
That's a fact.
But I get it. You don't want to trade 2 players and some picks for Donovan Mitchell when you could just sign somewhere else and keep everything in for the future. Yeah. I get that 100%. That was a good deal, whatever. But Donovan Mitchell has that in the back of his mind, boy. And you think that he's going to let the Cavaliers look to the New York Knicks in the first round?
No.
He a quiet killer.
Yeah,
quiet killer.
Right. The guy's a silent assassin.
Say that again.
Yeah.
So we'll stick with the East. Brooklyn Nets against the Philadelphia 76ers. Nick, who you taking? I feel like we're all taking the same fucking team, so we'll make this quick.
Sixers are deep, bro. Sixers are deep. Harden and Joel is playing ridiculous.
MVP.
Dude, 52 on the Celtics.
Another scoring champ.
If they don't get scoring champ. If they don't give MVP to this man, bro,
done. I'm done watching NBA. Done.
No, I might be.
WNBA for me.
He deserved it last year, and this year he definitely deserves it. Yeah. It's already got his name on it. So if they give it to anybody else, it's fraud. Straight up. Fraud.
But other than that, who you taking first round?
Sixers, bro.
Sixers.
5 max, bro. Like
5. I think 5-2.
No.
I think 5-2. You think sweep? You think it's a sweep?
No,
Dicky?
Sweep. Because
I said 5 max.
Listen,
I said 5 max.
No disrespect to Mikal Bridges. He's been hooping since he's got to Brooklyn. I just don't see it. If I'm be honest with you, I think Philly gets him up out of there quick, and they're waiting because they're gonna need all the rest that they can for that second round series against, like I say, it could be Boston, it could be Miami, but whoever they
I think it's Milwaukee, or if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Milwaukee it's gonna be Milwaukee. I think it's Milwaukee.
No, because isn't it because Philly is
Let me see.
Because let's say if the top 4 win, right? 1 plays 4, so that would be Milwaukee versus Cleveland.
Oh no, you're right.
That's if Boston wins, I think, right? If Miami,
you're right.
Yeah, fact. So I think they get Boston, they get Brooklyn up out of there. No disrespect to Brooklyn, but they just don't have they don't have anybody that's on that level yet. I love Mikal Bridges and stuff, but and then Ben Simmons not playing, which I don't know if he'll ever play basketball again.
That's crazy, bro.
But I get the brooms out in Philly. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Brooklyn.
Okay. Definitely could.
I'm from Brooklyn. I love, the Nets is cool. I'm not a Mets fan, but I'm just saying the Nets is cool, but they don't have nobody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it goes 5 games, like Nick says. I don't think it goes past that. Philly's taking it for sure. I just think that Philly will win the first 3 games, and then that last game in Brooklyn, they're gonna go out like some badasses, and they're gonna be like, "No, we're not going out like no chumps.
Not
We're
getting
not going
swept.
out like
We're not getting
they're
swept.
not gonna
I
let
could see
themselves
that,
get
bro.
swept." And I feel like that game 4, like it will be like a good rest for Joel. Even though I agree with you, it'll be better for them to sweep and then get more rest. But sometimes you don't want to give too much rest because then they get complacent. They get like out of whack. The momentum goes down. You want to have the momentum up here always. So like if you sweep them, you're gonna be hot on your high horse. But then Miami and Boston goes to game 7, and you're already waited 3 games. Your momentum starts to go down. So it's like I think it would be smarter for them to do a gentleman's sweep, and Brooklyn's not gonna go out like that. I don't think Brooklyn goes out like that.
Well, Brooklyn got swept last year, so
true.
With a better team.
But it was not a better team. I don't think it was a better team. I think Kyrie and KD are way better players. But overall, the rest of that team was trash. Super trash. And especially defensively. Defensively, that shit was a no-go.
Well, because, Kyrie and KD aren't doing nothing on the defensive end.
Well, I think KD's a better defensive player now after the Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Playing with the Warriors, I think he's better defensively.
But he can't be your anchor.
Oh, no. Hell no. He can't be your center.
No.
Come on, now.
He can't.
Yeah. No. So we got them. So we'll jump on to the West, and then we'll get up out of here after that. The Los Angeles Clippers versus the Phoenix Suns first round. That's gonna be that's another Western Conference Finals first round. That's gonna be insane. That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be fun.
Dicky, let me hear from you first, my dog.
So I'm gonna go. It's funny. I did pick the Clippers, like to make a good run in the NBA playoffs, but because of the Paul George injury, I might have to walk that back a bit. So I think the Suns get him out of there. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I really think the Suns they pack him up. Not quick. I say 6 games because this is what I think is gonna happen. Kawhi will get you 1, and I also think Russell Westbrook will get you 1. Now, granted, I've been very critical of Russell Westbrook's game and stuff like that, but he's still Russell Westbrook, and I have to respect him. And on that stage, he's great. He plays super hard and stuff. So I think he gets you 1. And then, we'll get all those memes like, LA gave up on Russ and look at Russ. So he'll get you 1 too. So I think those will be the 2 games the Clippers get. But without Paul George, they're just at a disadvantage. And the Phoenix Suns are hot right now with KD. They haven't lost. They're riding that high horse. If it's like the same momentum they had the next year after the bubble. Remember when they went undefeated in the bubble and shit, and they were riding that momentum the next year. So it's the same concept. Like the Suns are hot right now. They got KD. They got that monster, bro. Whenever you can just give the ball to this nigga and move the fuck out the way and don't have to worry about it, advantage Phoenix. So I got Phoenix in 6.
What you got, Nick?
I got Phoenix in 6, maybe 7, just because the Clippers have been playing well since the Russell Westbrook trade. I agree. PG being out hurts. Terrence Mann, though, can maybe step up. They're going to need him to step up if they want to be competitive. And he's played great in the minutes that he's played. So I think the Clippers are definitely going to give the Suns a run for their money. But like Dicky said, give it to KD. ISO ball that's one of the hardest things to stop, if not the hardest thing to stop in the NBA. It's trying to stop that man from scoring. It's like, that's damn near impossible. You can try. It's one of those like
you
where
can try.
You can try. But if he misses more times than not. You know what I mean? And if he makes it, I was there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. And then if D-Book's shooting right, Chris Paul's got the ball. That team's just gonna be a hard team to stop. So I got Suns in 6, maybe 7 if Clippers can bring it, because Bones was playing pretty good in the last few games, and he could be one of those. Yeah, he's gotten more minutes, and they're kind of figuring things out on that end. But
Ty Lue's a great coach.
Great coach,
phenomenal,
great coach,
great coach.
But yeah, the Suns are just they got a better team.
Just a better team.
I think it will go I got Suns in 7, and I think whoever's the home team of that each game wins. I don't think any of these teams wins a road game in this series. One, because Phoenix is going to come out guns. Phoenix is going to come out guns blazing the first 2 games. They got home court advantage, and when they go back to LA, Paul George will come back and he will play. They take those next 2 games, and then they'll go on and on and on. I don't think a team wins a road game in this series, and the Suns have the home court advantage, so Game 7 will be in Phoenix. They will take that game 100%. That's. I think they're both.
PG comes back by Game 3, that's good.
Yeah, because I read that he's not gonna.
Game 3, that's good for them.
He's not gonna be there in the beginning of the series, so that means he's not gonna travel with the team. Sure. He's not gonna travel with the team. So when they come back to LA, he'll be ready to play 100%. And then I feel like both teams are. I think the Clippers have more depth on their bench than the Suns do. Obviously, trading away Cam Johnson and all these players, whatever, for KD. But the Suns' star power, their starting 5 is way better than the Clippers' starting 5. Obviously, you still got Kawhi, Paul George when he comes back. Russell Westbrook's playing way better than he was with the Lakers, with the Clippers now. But KD's a freaking monster, like how we all mentioned. CP3 floor general. I think he'll average 12 assists this series. Devin Booker, he's going to have the second best defender guarding him, which will probably be Kawhi, because I think their first best will probably be Paul George. But in those first 2 games, Kawhi will be on KD, so who's going to cover Devin Booker? You going to put Russell Westbrook? He's going to eat him up. I don't know. I think Devin Booker, those first 2 games, he's dropped 30 plus, 100%. And then
if Terrence starts, they could put him on him. That's pretty much
still. You can
They'd
try.
Have to start him, and you can try. Yeah, you can try.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a hard fought series for sure. It's gonna be gritty down to the end. Like I said, I don't think a road team takes a road win. I think every game that's at home, the home team is winning that game. So I got Suns at 7. Suns at 7. And then the last one, like I mentioned, the Sacramento Kings. 20 years drought of not being in the playoffs. They get the 3rd seed in the 2023 playoffs, and they get the chance to prove themselves against the reigning champions, the Golden State Warriors, and they got home court advantage. All right? Nick, who you got?
I can't count the Warriors out, especially if they get Andrew Wiggins, bro. Light the beam in blue. Because the Kings are gonna win.
The outer ring of yellow, motherfucker.
I really like the Kings team too. Like they're young, they're up and coming, they're balling, they're hungry. But they have to play the Warriors, and if Andrew Wiggins comes back, there's no shot they win. I know the Warriors have struggled bad on the road, and the Kings have home court. I think the Warriors will grab at least one away game and they'll win. I don't know how many.
That'll be Game 7. And that'll be Game 7.
I don't know if it'll go to 7, but I think if they win, I think it'll go 6 winning Oracle. Or not Oracle, but
Chase.
They'll win now.
Chase Center.
Chase Center now,
I think you already know my answer. I'm gonna go with the Warriors in 6, and the reason I say that is because I love the Kings team. To tell you, that's why I use it on 2K. I love De'Aaron Fox.
They're fun, man. They're fun.
They're great. They just don't play any defense. And listen, we know in the playoffs, when you don't play defense, listen, we saw it with the Phoenix Suns. You can score 125 a game, but if your opponent scores 126, you lose. So, and with the Warriors, yes, they've been terrible on the road. But I think what's going to happen, first game, Sacramento is going to kill the Warriors, I think. I think they're just going to rush them, and the Warriors aren't going to be able to recruit or whatever, and the Kings are going to be on their high horse. Game 2, I think the Warriors take. Because, again, they have the experience. Man, Sacramento is going to be livid. They're going to be so crazed and stuff like that, and the Warriors take Game 2. Then they win the next 2 in Golden State, and then the last stand for Sacramento, Game 5 back in Sacktown. I think they win, but then they lose at Chase Center in 6. So
So mine's like opposite. I got the Warriors in 7. So I got, like you started off, Kings win first game, second game Warriors win. Third game, Warriors win, and then I got the Kings winning in the fourth game because they're gonna come out. Yeah, they're gonna come out guns blazing that game, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, we ain't no chumps or nothing like that." So they're gonna go back to the crib 2-2. The Kings are gonna win that one, and then the Warriors are gonna win the next two games because of experience. That experience is gonna put them over the top in the last two final games, dude. Everyone wants to talk about how great the Sacramento Kings are, and they are freaking great. I'm not taking that away from them, but they're inexperienced. Your most experienced player is Harrison Barnes, which he played with the Golden State Warriors back when they won their first championship in the last 8 years or whatever. He's the most experienced player on that team, but he's not. He wasn't the vocal point that the Warriors had. You had Steph, Clay, Draymond. You had Bogut at that time. I'm pretty sure that's when they had Bogut.
You had Barbosa coming off the bench.
Exactly.
Too.
You had all these people that were outspoken when Harrison Barnes was on the backseat when it comes to speaking up and everything. So now maybe he's that guy in Sacramento. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Well, like on the court, I don't see it. Obviously, I'm not there from in person. We're not in the game, but from what I see, I don't see him being that vocal type leader that's going to get him over the hump and be like, yo, you got to do this. Yo, control your emotions. Yo, take a step back. Take a rest here. Be smart. And this and that. No, I think the Golden State Warriors experience is going to put him over that hump in the last two games.
Yeah, I can see it. And Mike Brown, I think Mike Brown's going to win Coach of the Year, which he should. No argument for that. He's a great coach. Obviously, he grew up. Well, he didn't grow up, but he did coach under Steve Kerr. So he knows a lot of the ins and the outs. That's why I do think the Kings will get 2 games because, again, just Mike Brown's coaching and, being able. And I want to see, De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, on this level. Because I think this would be just like how I think this would be a great step for OKC, this would be a great step for Sacramento to kind of bring back some relativity to that city and stuff. Because, I mean, they've been at the bottom for how long, and then now with De'Aaron Fox and if I'm not mistaken, De'Aaron Fox, is that going to make him sign back with Sacramento? I don't know. What is it like? I think it's 5 years, right? Before a player can decide or whatever. Because I think technically it's 7 years they have it for.
He's still on a rookie contract. I think he got an extension.
I don't know. I think it's been 5 years, right?
But I'm saying, I think he got an extension though. I think
he did get an extension.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah.
All right, I'll look it up. But
I'll look it up. Good.
I don't know for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be a fantastic play-in tournament that starts on Tuesday. Playoffs round 1 is gonna be crazy. We got 3 series that might go to Game 7 that look like Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals type matchups, or even. Well, you can't say NBA Finals matchups, obviously, but still, that type of level of competitiveness. That's what you'll see in the first round in 3 series. It's gonna be dope.
We'll see defense.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of defense for sure. Hopefully, the refs don't be calling a lot of ticky-tack fucking fouls because goddamn. But yeah, it's gonna be great. I know we're excited. Hopefully, the fans are excited. But before we get out of here, let these people know where they can watch your stuff, listen to your shit, or whatever content that you got going out there, man.
All right, I'll go first then. But it's me, Dicky Moss. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Moss the Big Boss. Also have Sports Vibes Podcast, which you can catch on YouTube, and Sports Vibes Pod on all my social media platforms. So make sure y'all follow me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nick J. Wilkins TV on Instagram and Nick J. Wilk on Twitter.
Yeah, guys, you already know we can follow me on Twitter at GeorgeMike Perez, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at GMike Media _. The audio version of the podcast is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, and now streaming on the VarsitySportsNetwork.org. Guys, thank you, bro. I'm gonna have you guys back on maybe at the end of round 1, somewhere around there. We'll get together and we'll talk about it. But for sure, I'm gonna get you back on the vibes. You already know, baby. You already know, baby. Miami on Tuesday. Let's get it.
We got Caleb Love now.
All right,
That's
boys.
a fact. You see. All right, man. Listen, y'all take care, man. I'm gonna hit y'all.
You too, man. Yes, sir.